How's it going, everybody? This video was filmed exclusively live on odds.com. The Diehard MMA podcast can be seen. The full replay. We talk about UFC Vegas 16 from top to bottom with my special guest, Dan Levi, over on odds.com. Click the link below to check it out. Man, and next up, we're getting to the top of this thing. We're getting to the good stuff here. Women's flyweight fight, Montana De La Rosa taking on Taila Santos. De La Rosa 11-6-0, Taila 16-1, and I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Taila Santos because
do you now?
Well, I was one of the ones leading the charge on Molly the Can McCann in her last fight there. Got in early, beat that massive line movement. And honestly, man, I was having flashbacks this last week with Gina Mazzani. I passed on that spot, which is a full-on mistake on my part because I went, you know what, Clint, the last time you did this, Taila Santos showed up and wrecked Molly. You don't want to do it again with another questionable women's fighter. So I missed that minus 125 on Gina Mazzani last week because of it. So I love this chick, but you know what? It's a weird situation because Taila Santos looked better than she had ever looked in her entire career against Molly McCann her last time out. So I'm treading very lightly on this spot because of that potential recency bias. Now, Montana De La Rosa, she is the other side of the De La Rosa family. Poor Mr. De La Rosa is no longer employed with the UFC. She's a wrestler, grappler first, lots of wins by submission here. Her striking is coming along. It's improving. She's young. She's got a lot of upside, I feel like, just given some time. She's working on that left hand. She has a good lead left hand, a good jab, and then a nice little check hook that she throws with it. But she's a little stationary on the feet, so work in progress there on that striking. Taila Santos has a traditional, not quite traditional, but she's got a hard Muay Thai style. She rocks the heavy leg kicks. She kind of stomps forward at her opponents. She has great top control. She looks to sprawl and brawl. She's got good submissions herself, some vicious elbows with the ground and pound. Man, I'm kind of agreeing with this line here with Taila sitting about minus 205. We've got De La Rosa on the other side, plus 175, plus 180. What's your look here on this one?
Listen, this fight has absolutely nothing to do with Montana De La Rosa at all whatsoever. I mean, this could be any opponent. This all has to do with Taila Santos, because if Taila Santos has her head on straight, I mean, not only is she going to win this fight, but she's going to go out there and put on an MMA clinic against this girl. It's just that Taila Santos, is she going to have her head on straight? Because I know when I bet her at minus 150 odds to beat Mara Romero Barella, who is the biggest cupcake, and the biggest gimme fight in the entire division, let alone the entire sport. Now, that fight wasn't about what Barella did right. That fight was about what Taila Santos did wrong. And I think she might have said in an interview that, listen, it was her UFC debut. She was backstage. Her heart was beating out of her chest. She had the weight of the world on her shoulders. She felt so heavy she couldn't even throw a punch. Like, she just said that it was just not my night. Because, I mean, it's not like Barella did something impressive in that fight. Barella, it was one of those situations where Barella threw one punch and Taila threw 0 punches. You know, it's like that kind of ordeal. So I think that if Taila's here showing up, there's no issues. I mean, she's clearly better than Montana De La Rosa across the board. It's just that we've seen Taila pull one very, very epic stunt. I mean, one of the biggest stunts I've ever seen in my life against Barella, where she literally didn't fight.
It's hard to shake those.
It was unreal. I mean, it's like, look, you watch her Contender Series fight, goes out there, Muay Thai clinic. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but Taila actually beat Marina Rodriguez in a Muay Thai fight back in the day in Brazil. Yeah. So, like, her credentials in terms of stand-up fighting are on point. And, I mean, she can grapple too. So she goes out there on Contender Series, looks amazing, looks like, hey, this is going to be one of the chicks in this division that's going to go places. UFC debut in Brazil, sets you up with the easiest opponent on the roster, drops the ball. So then I was like, yo, like, what the hell is going on? Did she have one of those padded records? And then she goes out there against Molly McCann, absolutely mops the floor with Molly McCann, like destroys her. So now it's like, okay, Taila, are you going to show up for this fight or not? Because if she shows up, she's better than Montana De La Rosa everywhere. If she doesn't show up, Montana's got good back takes. You know, she's a pretty opportunistic grappler. Her stand-up's getting a little bit better. that's about the extent of it. So I think Taila should be favored because on their best days, Taila is way better than Montana De La Rosa. It's just, Taila, are you going to show up this time? Now that you got your feet wet, you got your first UFC win, is your confidence getting up there? Are you feeling better about yourself? Can we see some of those multi-strike combinations go and some of that takedown defense that we know you got? So this is up to Taila. This fight has nothing to do with Montana De La Rosa. I'll go with Taila because I know she's better than De La Rosa. I know she's got what it takes to come out here and put on an MMA clinic. It's just, is she going to do it or not? That's what remains to be seen. That's why I probably wouldn't lay the price, but I ain't taking a shot on the worst fighter either.
I feel you. I absolutely feel you. Now I'm a little tempted to lay the price and take the shot here on Taila Santos for a couple reasons. I noticed in Montana De La Rosa's last fight, one thing that she absolutely hated was the leg kicks. And Taila Santos has got a nasty leg kick, man. I think if she comes out, like you said, with her head screwed on straight, we might see a leg kick TKO, or she's going to cause Montana De La Rosa to panic wrestle in this one. The other thing is De La Rosa was not able to get out to Elevation Fight Team for this training camp. And for me, that's a big red flag. Now, she did get some work in with Lauren Murphy, who I respect, absolutely love the crap out of lucky Lauren Murphy. I feel like the UFC did her dirty, that poor girl. Give her title shot. But she's got a good training partner there. But not being able to train in elevation where it's going to help your lungs out, help that gas tank, and not being there with your coaches, you just can't quite get the same effect over Zoom. You know what I mean? I think this may not be a spot where we see an improved version of Montana De La Rosa. And if she's the same version we saw the last time out, I feel like this is all Taila Santos' fight to go ahead and win here.
Yeah, and I mean, look, just like what we were talking about, man, this has nothing to do with Montana. Montana can go train at the best gym with the best trainers, with the best training partners. She can do whatever the hell she wants. Like, I don't care where she's training. I care about where's Taila's head at, because, I mean, against Barella, the exact same things you just said. Oh, stuff her takedowns, mixing the kicks, just make her pay, just touch her on the chin one time. She refused to do that against Barella. Barella has been knocked out 5 times. Women don't often get knocked out. When's the last time you heard of a woman that's been knocked out 5 times in her career? Like, they literally gave her the easiest opponent and she couldn't come through. But it's still favorite or pass to me because I know the potential's there. I know she's better than Montana De La Rosa. Just please show up, for the second time in a row, Taila. Yeah. If you show up, this is easy work.
Agreed. Hey, Tyler, got to shout out, man. Invisalign. That Invisalign did the work when I was in high school, man. That's where the grill came from. I tweeted at them. I was hoping they'd sponsor the show. That'd be kind of cool to sync up there with them. But that's how it happened, man. All right. Yeah, Dan, I like it, man. I like it. The way you put it, I never would have thought to say it that way, but saying that it's not about Montana De La Rosa is just chef kiss. That's like spot on, man.